Yeah, so now we go to Q&A questions. First question from KV Sim. He said, "Hi, Tan Sri. What is your opinion on the recent Sabah Pakatan readers who has filed a suit against the federal government for 40% tax revenue? They said 40% tax revenue collected from the Sabah should be returned to Sabah. What is your views on this case?" We all know, as stated in your books, you were supporting the idea that 20% of the oil royalty shall be paid to the state government. So how about this 40% tax issue? Do you have any idea about it? Yeah.
Well, I don't know enough of the specific case and the 40%, where they got the figure and the basis for that. I don't know enough of it. But what I would say is, as a general observation, that from the time Sabah and Sarawak entered Malaysia and the federation was formed in 1963, it's going to be nearly 60 years of the federation. There is no doubt that a strong case can be made on their behalf that they have been shortchanged, that they got the poor side of the bargain, and therefore it's time to redress that bargain and give them back what they lost out over the decades. I belong to that school, and I always tell my friends in Sabah and Sarawak that the reason why that was achieved was because all the leaders of Sabah and Sarawak willingly gave up their rights. It wasn't as if Kuala Lumpur put pressure on them. They always had willing cronies or proxies of allies who agreed in giving up the rights of Sabah and Sarawak to the center. And if you want to reorder them, it's a good time to have some kind of reordering of all of the entire relationship, which would of course include financial benefits to be enhanced, as a general observation.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Thomas. So the second question is, where the coup? He said, Tan Sri, Mr. Thomas, can you comment the performance of AG before and after your term? Are they performing on par or below expectation? You have set a high record, high standard over the world, I think. I have and this one I have to do some advertising for Mr. Thomas' book. I write a forewords for the books, and I stated and I quote. Let me quote in Mandarin. Actually, I wrote two versions, one in Mandarin, one in English, but only the Mandarin version were published. And I quote, 汤姆斯先生在他任期内展现的睿智及高智慧标准，环顾全世界其他区域或国家的总检察长同行相比起来也毫不逊色。他的傲然不群，不与俗流，甚至大有凌驾之上的态势，这点绝对是所有国人的骄傲哦。So this question asks on whether you are on par or below, whether the AG before and after you on par or below you. I think this is a question is very obvious, but we need you to answer, Ms. Tan Sri Thomas. What is your opinion? What is your opinion with Appendi, Idris Harun? How is their performance?
No, I think it'll be invidious for me to comment on my predecessors and my successor. That would be totally unacceptable. Just as it would be unacceptable for any government officer, whether you're a finance minister or a director general of health, to comment on your successors and predecessors. That's really not fair. And I think it's for members of the public to make their own judgment. So everybody is free to make their own judgment. But I think people like us who held those office should not be publicly commenting on it. That would be invidious.
Yep. So two more questions. This one I think is quite important. From Yap, he said, Tan Sri, people are asking, was there a selective prosecution during PH time, since those politicians mentioned in the UKSP ledger were not charged in the court together with Shahid? May we have your comment, please? I think Hishamuddin, I think Shafi Abdal, their name was mentioned, and Muhyiddin Yassin. Not only name mentioned, but also amount received by him. So what's your reply, Mr. Thomas?
Well, I think this tells you why trials are so wonderful. Whether it's a criminal trial or a civil trial, they always produce surprising evidence, which is why nobody can fully prepare for a trial. So in this case, obviously there is a witness, and I think it's somebody called Mr. Tan. I think
Yeah.
he could be a banker or a company officer who has got wonderful accounts and ledgers where he very carefully minuted all this kind of information, probably contemporaneously. Now, there is no way that when the IP was being prepared and when the recommendation would have been to charge the accused here, and I think the accused here is the former Deputy Prime Minister Zahid and
Yeah.
current UMNO President. I think he was the accused in this particular case. There is no way that we would have got that kind of micro information which will only turn up at the trial years later. So I would answer, and that's how trials are. The amount of evidence, the volume of evidence, and the intensity of the case becomes clearer at trial, not at the stage where you file a statement of claim in a civil case or where you prosecute. So that's a general observation, and I think you, as a lawyer, would understand that straight away.
Yeah.
So, speaking for myself personally, I did not know of all these things when I took the decision to charge the particular accused. The IP would have been much less detailed, just saying prima facie recommendation to prosecute, and then I would have studied those macro documents and made the decision. We would not have gone into such micro detail. And for all you know, this could have been the 30th or 40th witness on day 46th of the trial. You
And
know,
it
this
get
this
out.
tells you how wonderful trials are.
Yes, yes，但是你的回答其实就是这个就是审讯的好处哦，这些证据是我们不知道的，它是 out of sudden 突然就这样子跳出来的，而且这个证人是很后面的证人，他才突然提出这个证据，这个证据之前他是不知道的哦，他也没有看到在调查报告，警方的调查报告就是 IP， 刚才我也讲到的嘛 ，investigation paper 里面是没有的哦，所以大家必须明白。希望有回答到你的问题。So this is our last question for tonight, from Chong. Mr. Thomas, did you enjoy working for Tun and PH during their 22-month rules? This is a good question. So I use this question to end the tonight session before I pass the mic to you, Mr. Thomas. Are you happy?
Yes, I thoroughly enjoyed working. I was blessed. They gave me an opportunity. I think those who know me would know that I love making decisions. I mean, not all lawyers like making decisions, but I was one of those lawyers who loved making decisions. And so the job gave me the opportunity of making decisions, both on corporate, commercial, constitutional, many areas of the law and public. So I'm eternally grateful for being given that opportunity to make decisions. And of course, those were my decisions. I always say there would have been any number of wrong decisions for which I accept responsibility, but I enjoyed it thoroughly. And it's a great blessing. I'm eternally grateful.
So 他很开心，他有这个机会。他是少数，很多律师不喜欢做决定，决定都是交给客户做的嘛。他说他是少数喜欢做决定的律师，所以他是很 enjoy 的，很开心的哈。所以有回答到冲的问题。So Q&A session closed. Now we move to the last part, the crossing part. I will before that. Tan Sri Thomas, I have time for you to make a conclusion or one or two words you want to say to the audience now. I think just now we reached 3,000 persons online concurrently for this show. So anything you want to tell the audience online, so you can tell them. But before that, I would like to remind three things. First, of course, please like, share, and subscribe this program so that it can reach more viewers. More person can join in and more person can view. Tomorrow they can view the replay. So please like and share. Secondly, the Chinese version of Mr. Thomas' book, Justice in the Wilderness.
I got it too. Yes.
Yeah, it's on sale now. You can buy it at any major bookstore in Malaysia or through online bookstores such as mybuku.com or other online merchants such as, for example, Shopee and Lazada. You can buy it online as well. And thirdly, and the most important one, Mr. Thomas and I has a physical launching event for this newly published Chinese version of Justice in the Wilderness at the Kuala Lumpur and Selangor Chinese Assembly Hall on Sunday, 3rd of July, 4 p.m. Those who haven't buy the book can buy it at the event, and you will get the chance to have the book autographed by Mr. Thomas. So please attend. Don't remember, I myself will be attending. So, and I will have another dialogue session with Mr. Thomas. So see you all there. Mark your diary, Sunday, 3rd of June and 3rd of July, 4 p.m. at KL and Selangor Chinese Assembly Hall. Now I pass the mic to Tan Sri Thomas. The time is yours.
Well, I think, Mr. Ankit, thank you very much for hosting this and being such a skillful man Friday, doing all kinds of tasks. I've spoken enough on it. I see we've crossed 2 hours. There's nothing really I need to add. And I thank all your viewers for standing by. We, I think, crossed 11 p.m. and they asked questions. So I really have got nothing more to add. And I also would like to invite them, or as many of them who are in KL, to come and join us on 3rd of July. And then I wish you good night and God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Thank you, Tan Sri Thomas. Good night. So I shall see you soon. And I definitely shall visit you before the 3rd of July. Thank you for joining us, your precious time. Thank you very much. The words cannot describe how thankful am I. So thank you, Mr. Thomas.
So thank you. Good night.
Good night and goodbye.
Bye.